I am an old woman. My hands shake now when I hold a cup of water. My knees hurt when I stand for too long. But that night shook my heart more than my body ever could. I never thought I would stand outside my own house, barefoot, holding a small bag, while the door was locked against me. It happened the same night she won the $85 million lottery. Before I tell you how it all began, let me say this. If you are listening to my story right now, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss powerful stories like this. And please, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. I want to know who is here with me. Now listen closely, because what I am about to tell you still makes my chest tight. That night, the house was loud. Too loud. Laughter filled the living room. Music blasted from the television. Bottles clinked. Voices shouted with joy. I stood near the hallway, holding the edge of the wall, trying to understand what was happening. Then I heard her scream. I won. I won it. $85 million. Everyone cheered. Everyone except me. Before I could even sit down, she turned, looked straight at me, and said words I will never forget. This house is not yours anymore. Pack your things. You need to leave. Tonight. I laughed at first. I truly thought it was a joke. But then she walked to the door and locked it. That was the moment I knew my life had just changed forever. Let me take you back to how all of this started. Years ago, this house was quiet, peaceful. I bought it with my husband when we were still young and strong. We worked hard. We saved every small coin. We painted the walls ourselves. We planted the mango tree in the backyard with our own hands. When my husband died, this house became my whole world. Later, my son married her. At first, she was kind. She smiled. She called me Mama. She brought me food. She helped me clean. When they had problems paying rent, I opened my door to them. Come and stay here, I said. This is your home too. I didn't know I was inviting trouble into my own house. Slowly, things changed. She began to talk to me differently. She rolled her eyes when I spoke. She sighed when I walked slowly. She complained that I was too old and too much. My son stayed quiet. That silence hurt more than her words. Still, I stayed. Because this was my house. Because family is family. Then one evening, everything changed. She came home shouting. Guess what? She screamed. My son jumped up. I came out of my room. She waved a piece of paper in the air, her hands shaking. I played the lottery, she said. And I won. We all froze. How much? My son asked. She smiled. A slow, dangerous smile. $85 million. The room exploded with noise. My son hugged her. Friends were called. Neighbors rushed in. People who never looked at me twice were suddenly sitting on my chairs, eating from my plates. I stood there quietly. Then she looked at me. Her smile disappeared. She leaned close and whispered, "Things are about to change around here." I didn't understand what she meant. I wish I did. That night, while everyone celebrated, she pulled my son aside. They talked in low voices. I couldn't hear everything, but I heard my name. She's old. She's in the way. This house is mine now. My heart began to pound. Later, when the music grew louder, she walked toward me again. You need to go, she said. I laughed nervously. Go where? She crossed her arms. Anywhere but here. I looked at my son. He looked away. That was when fear entered my bones. I went to my room, confused, shaking, thinking maybe she would calm down. But when I came back out with my small bag, the door slammed shut. The lock clicked. I stood outside in the dark, hearing laughter inside my own house. And as I knocked, crying and begging, she shouted through the door. You should have left earlier. That was the moment my world broke. But what happened after that night? What I discovered about the lottery ticket. And the secret they didn't know I was hiding. That is where the real nightmare begins. And I swear, you will not believe what happened next. That night outside the house felt longer than my whole life. The ground was cold. My feet were bare. The sky was dark, and the air smelled like rain. I knocked on the door again and again. Please, I cried. Open the door. This is my house. Inside, the music stopped for a moment. Then I heard her voice. Sharp. Cold. Go away. You don't belong here anymore. My knees gave up. I sat on the steps, hugging my small bag. Inside it were only 2 dresses, my medicine, and my old phone. That was all I could grab before she pushed me out. I waited for my son to come out. He never did. Hours passed. Cars came and went. Laughter returned. People celebrated her new life, while mine fell apart outside the same walls I once painted with love. Finally, near morning, a neighbor opened her door. She gasped when she saw me. "Oh my God," she said. "What happened to you?" I couldn't speak. I only cried. She helped me up and took me inside her small room. She gave me water and a blanket. I slept sitting up, afraid that if I closed my eyes too long, I would disappear. When morning came, my body hurt everywhere. But my heart hurt more. I stared at the ceiling and kept asking myself one question. How did it get this bad? Let me tell you something important. Before my son married her, he was kind. He used to help me cook. He used to sit with me in the evenings. He used to call me Mama with respect. After she came, that slowly stopped. At first, it was small things. She knows better, Mama. Let her handle it. Don't worry about it. Then it became bigger. She says you complain too much. She says you are embarrassing us. She says you should stay in your room. I tried to stay quiet. I tried to stay invisible. Because I didn't want trouble. But trouble still found me. Later that morning, I gathered courage. I returned to the house. I knocked. No answer. I knocked again. The door opened just a little. She stood there, dressed nicely, holding her phone, smiling. "What do you want?" she asked. "I just want to come inside," I said softly. "We need to talk." She laughed. "Talk? About what?" "This house is under new management." I looked past her. My furniture was still there. My pictures were still on the wall. "My husband and I bought this house," I said. "You know that." She raised her phone. "The lottery lawyer says otherwise." Those words confused me. "What do you mean?" I asked. She leaned closer. I told him everything. "And soon, everything here will be in my name." I felt dizzy. "That's not possible," I said. "You can't take my house." She smiled again. A cruel smile. "Watch me." Then she closed the door. I stood there shaking. That day, my son still didn't call me. Not once. I stayed with the neighbor for a few days. I slept on the floor. I shared food. I tried not to be a burden. But my heart kept asking the same question. Why was my son silent? On the 4th day, he finally called. "Mama," he said softly. "Why did you let her do this?" I asked. There was silence. "She's angry," he said. "You should give her space." Space. I repeated. "She threw me out." "She won the money," he said. "Things are complicated." That sentence broke something inside me. Money changed him too. Later that evening, I remembered something. Something important. A small detail everyone forgot. The lottery ticket. I remembered the day she bought it. She didn't buy it alone. I was there. I paid for it. She was short of cash. She asked me to help her. I gave her the money. I even joked. "If you win, remember me." She laughed back then. But now she acted like I never existed. That night, lying on the floor, I realized something else. The house papers. They were not inside the house. They were hidden somewhere else. Somewhere she did not know about. My heart began to beat faster. Because if she thought she had already won, she had no idea what was coming next. But before I could act on that thought, I received a message on my phone. One sentence. From her. You have 48 hours to disappear. And as I stared at the screen, my hands shaking, I knew this fight was far from over. What I did after reading that message would change everything. When I read that message, my whole body went cold. You have 48 hours to disappear. I read it again. And again. I sat on the floor, my back against the wall, my phone shaking in my hands. My neighbor was asleep. The room was quiet, but my mind was loud. Disappear. Like I was nothing. Like I never mattered. Like this life I built meant nothing to her. I did not sleep that night. I kept thinking about my husband. I remembered his voice. His laugh. The way he used to say, no matter what happens, this house will always protect you. I whispered into the dark. I'm sorry. I failed to protect it. The next morning, I stood up slowly. My bones hurt, but my heart felt heavier. I decided I would not cry anymore. Not yet. I needed answers. I called my son again. This time, he picked up quickly. Mama, he said. His voice sounded tired. Did you know about the message she sent me? I asked. There was a pause. She's angry, he said again. Just give her time. Time? I asked. She gave me 48 hours. Another pause. Then he said something that made my ears ring. Mama, maybe it's better if you find another place. I felt like the floor opened under me. Another place? I whispered. That house is mine. She's my wife, he said. And now she has money. We need peace. Peace. That word felt like a slap. So I should suffer for your peace? I asked. He did not answer. The call ended. I stared at the phone until the screen went dark. That was the moment I understood something painful. I was alone. But even when you are alone, you can still stand. Later that day, I went to see an old friend of my husband. He was a quiet man who worked with papers and laws. He had known my husband for many years. When he saw me, his face changed. What happened to you? He asked. I told him everything. He listened without interrupting. When I finished, he sighed deeply. Do you have the house documents? He asked. Yes, I said. They are safe. He nodded slowly. That is good, he said. Because money can make people very bold. He explained something important to me. Winning the lottery does not mean you own everything. Marriage does not erase ownership. Loud words do not change the law. For the first time in days, I felt a small light inside me. But that light did not last long. That evening, when I returned to the neighbor's house, I found my bag outside the door. The neighbor stood there, nervous. I'm sorry, she said. Your daughter-in-law came here. My heart jumped. She said you're bringing trouble, the neighbor continued. She warned me to stay away. I felt shame burn my face. I understand, I said softly. The neighbor hugged me before closing the door. I stood outside again. This time, I had nowhere to go. I walked slowly to a small park nearby and sat on a bench. Children played. People laughed. Life continued as if mine was not falling apart. That night, I slept sitting up. Cold. Hungry. Afraid. The next morning, I woke up to shouting. A group of people stood around me. Someone had called the police, thinking I was homeless. When the officer asked my name, my voice shook. I have a home, I said. I just can't enter it. Later that same day, my daughter-in-law posted pictures online. She stood inside my house. My house. She smiled, holding a glass of wine. The caption read, "New life. New beginnings." I felt sick. Then my phone rang. Her number. I almost didn't answer. But I did. "You are embarrassing us," she said. "People are asking questions." "You kicked me out," I replied. "And I can do worse," she said calmly. "Remember the 48 hours." The call ended. I checked the time. 24 hours left. That night, as I sat alone again, I reached into my bag and touched something hidden inside. A small envelope. Inside it were copies of the house papers. And something else she never expected. Something that connected her lottery ticket to my name. My heart pounded. Because if I was right, the money she was celebrating was not fully hers. And tomorrow, I would have to make a choice. A choice that could either save me or destroy what was left of my family. And just as I stood up from the bench, a black car stopped in front of me. The window rolled down, and a voice I did not expect said my name. The black car stopped slowly in front of me. Its engine was quiet, but my heart was loud. The window rolled down. "Get in," a man said. I froze. The streetlight above flickered. I could not see his face clearly, only his eyes shining in the dark. "Who are you?" I asked, my voice shaking. "You don't want to be standing here at night," he replied. "And you don't want your daughter-in-law finding you again." My chest tightened. "How do you know her?" I asked. He sighed and finally turned on the inside light. I recognized him. He was the man from the small shop where we used to buy newspapers. The one who always greeted my husband with respect. "My name is Samuel," he said. "Your husband once helped me when I had nothing." I never forgot. Tears filled my eyes. He opened the door wider. "Please," he said gently. "Just for tonight." I hesitated, then stepped into the car. As we drove, I stared out the window. Every house we passed looked warm, safe, like something I had lost. Samuel did not ask questions right away. He drove quietly, letting me breathe. Finally, he spoke. "I heard about the lottery," he said. "Everyone did." I laughed bitterly. "Yes," I said. "So did I." He parked near a small guest house. "You can stay here for a few days," he said. "No one will ask questions." I thanked him with all my heart. Inside the room, I sat on the bed and let my body rest for the first time in days. But my mind refused to rest. I kept seeing her face. That smile. That door closing. I pulled out the envelope again. The papers were still there. My husband's handwriting stared back at me. I remembered the night he gave them to me. "Hide these well," he said. "Even family can change." I didn't understand him then. Now I did. The next morning, I woke up early. My phone buzzed. A message from my son. "Mama, please stop causing problems." I stared at the words. Causing problems. Like I asked to be thrown out. Like I asked to sleep outside. Like I asked to be erased. I typed back slowly. "I am not the problem. I am the owner." There was no reply. Later that day, Samuel came back. "I spoke to someone," he said. "Someone who knows about lottery claims." My heart jumped. "And?" I asked. He lowered his voice. "Things are not as simple as she thinks." Hope flickered again. He explained carefully. "The lottery ticket was bought with your money. Your name was written as a witness on the receipt. The ticket was signed at home, where you were present." "She rushed everything," Samuel said. "She wanted to celebrate before securing it." I laughed softly. "She moved too fast. Just like she moved to kick me out." That evening, I received another message. From her. "Tomorrow is the last day. If you don't leave town, I'll make sure you regret it." My hands trembled. But this time, Fear was not alone. Anger stood beside it. That night, I dreamed of my husband again. He stood in the house, smiling calmly. "Stand your ground," he said. I woke up breathing hard. In the morning, I dressed carefully. I washed my face. I tied my scarf neatly. For the first time since everything happened, I looked at myself in the mirror and did not see a victim. I saw a woman who had survived too much to be erased. Samuel drove me to a building downtown. The lottery office. My heart pounded with every step. People stood in line, smiling, laughing, dreaming. I walked past them slowly. At the desk, a woman looked up. "Yes?" she asked. "I am here about the $85 million ticket," I said quietly. Her smile faded. She asked for details. I handed over the envelope. Her eyes widened as she read. "Please wait," she said. I sat down. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, a man in a suit came out. "Ma'am," he said, "we need to ask you some questions." Inside his office, I told everything. How I paid. How I was present. How I was thrown out. He listened carefully. "This changes things," he said. My heart raced. "Does she know?" I asked. "No," he replied. "And we will not contact her yet." Relief washed over me. But it didn't last. As I stepped out of the building, I saw her, standing across the street, watching me. Our eyes met. Her smile was gone. And in that moment I knew. She had realized something was wrong. And she was not going to stay quiet about it. When our eyes met across the street, my heart skipped. She was standing very still. No phone in her hand. No smile on her face. Just her eyes, locked on mine. For the first time since she won the money, she looked afraid. I turned away slowly and walked toward Samuel's car. My legs felt weak, but I forced myself not to rush. I did not want her to see fear on my face. As soon as I got into the car, Samuel started the engine. "Did she see you?" he asked. "Yes," I whispered. He looked in the mirror. "She's following us," he said quietly. My chest tightened. The car behind us kept a small distance. Not too close. Not too far. Like a shadow. No one spoke. After a while, Samuel took a sharp turn into a busy road. Cars crowded around us. Horns sounded. People crossed the street. The black car disappeared. I let out a long breath. "That look on her face," I said. "She knows." Samuel nodded. People who think they have won everything panic when they feel something slipping away. That night, I could not sleep. Every small sound made me jump. I kept seeing her eyes. Cold. Angry. Threatened. Early the next morning, my phone rang. My son. I almost did not answer. But I did. "Mama," he said quickly. "What did you do yesterday?" "I went to ask questions," I replied calmly. "Why?" he asked. "Why are you making things worse?" "Worse for who?" I asked. Silence. Then his voice changed. "She's very upset," he said. "She says you are trying to steal her money." I laughed softly. "Steal?" I repeated. "From whom?" "Mama, please," he said. "You don't understand how dangerous this is." Dangerous. That word made my skin crawl. "She threw me out," I said. "She threatened me. I slept outside." "Where were you?" He did not answer. Instead, he said something that broke my heart even deeper. "She said if you don't stop, she'll make sure you regret ever giving birth to me." I closed my eyes. So she was using him now. After the call ended, I sat quietly for a long time. Then the messages started. From unknown numbers. "You old woman, back off. You should know your place. Money makes people powerful." My hands shook. Samuel saw my face and took the phone gently. "This is harassment," he said. And it's not smart of her. But she was not thinking clearly anymore. That afternoon, something happened that pushed everything further. I went back to the guest house after buying bread. When I opened the door, the room was empty. My bag was gone. My envelope was gone. My heart stopped. I screamed. Samuel came running from outside. "What's wrong?" he asked. "They took it," I cried. "The papers." We searched everywhere. Nothing. Someone had been inside. My knees gave way, and I sat on the floor. "She knows," I whispered. "She knows everything now." Samuel knelt beside me. "Are you sure there were copies?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "I kept the originals somewhere else." His face relaxed a little. "That's good," he said. "Very good." But I still felt sick. Because now she was no longer just cruel. She was desperate. That evening, the police came to the guest house. My heart raced again. But this time, they were not there for me. They asked questions about a break-in. They took notes. As they left, one of them turned to me. "Be careful," he said quietly. "People act strangely when big money is involved." That night, I received another message from her. This one was different. No threats. No insults. Just one sentence. "Let's talk." I stared at the screen. Samuel shook his head. "No," he said. "Not alone." I agreed. We chose a public place. A cafe near the road. The next afternoon, she walked in wearing expensive clothes. Sunglasses. Confidence painted back onto her face. She sat down across from me. "You look tired," she said sweetly. I said nothing. She leaned forward. "I know you went to the lottery office," she whispered. "That was a mistake." I met her eyes. "You made a bigger one," I said. Her jaw tightened. "What do you want?" she asked. "My house," I replied. "And my respect." She laughed. "Old woman," she said. "You should take whatever I give you and be grateful." Samuel spoke then. "You are not in a strong position," he said calmly. Her eyes flashed. "You think I don't have lawyers?" she snapped. I reached into my bag and placed something on the table. A copy. Her face drained of color. She stood up so fast her chair fell. "This isn't over," she hissed. As she walked out, I noticed people staring. For the first time, she looked small. But as we left the cafe, my phone buzzed again. A message from an unknown number. "We know where you really keep the originals." My heart froze. Because only one person knew that place. And if she was right, then the next move could destroy everything I was fighting to protect. The message burned into my eyes. "We know where you really keep the originals." My fingers went numb. I read it again, slowly, hoping I misunderstood. But I didn't. Only one place existed. Only one person knew. My chest tightened so hard I thought I would faint. Samuel noticed my face change. "What is it?" he asked. I handed him the phone. He read the message and went silent. "Who else knows?" he asked carefully. "No one," I said. "Only my son." The words tasted bitter in my mouth. Samuel exhaled slowly. "Then this is no longer just about money," he said. "It's about pressure." Pressure. That was a gentle word for what was happening. That night, I could not stay at the guest house anymore. Samuel insisted we move. "She's watching," he said. "And she's not calm anymore." We packed quickly. I felt like a thief in my own life, sneaking around with nothing but fear and papers. As we drove, memories rushed back. I remembered the day I hid the originals. It was years ago, before my husband died. He was sick then. Weak. One night, he held my hand and said, "People change when money or power comes. Even family." I laughed back then. Now, I cried remembering it. The place where I hid the papers was far. Quiet. Safe. At least it used to be. When we arrived near the area, my heart dropped. A strange car was parked not far away. Samuel slowed down. "Do you recognize that car?" he asked. I shook my head. But my instincts screamed. Someone was there. We did not stop. Samuel kept driving. "They might be bluffing," he said. "Trying to scare you. But fear does not feel like bluff. Fear feels like this." That night, my son called again. I did not want to answer. But I did. "Mama," he said quickly. "Where are you? Why do you ask?" I replied. "She's worried," he said. "She says you're hiding things." I laughed softly. "She should be worried," I said. He lowered his voice. "Mama, please. She's not herself anymore." "Was she herself when she threw me out?" I asked. Silence. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. "She wants the papers. She says once she has them, everything will be over." "Over for who?" I asked. "For you," he whispered. That was the moment I knew. She was ready to destroy me. I ended the call. Samuel looked at me. "She's using him," he said. "I know," I replied. "But he's letting her." That hurt the most. The next morning, news spread fast. People talked. Neighbors whispered. Someone had posted online that I was trying to steal lottery money from my son's wife. The comments were cruel. "She's greedy. She should be ashamed. Old people don't know when to stop." I closed the phone. I felt small. But then something unexpected happened. A woman called me. Her voice was calm. "My name is Ruth," she said. "I work with the lottery office." My heart jumped. "We've noticed some unusual activity," she continued. "Someone tried to request information they are not entitled to." I knew who. "She's getting desperate," Ruth said. "And desperate people make mistakes." She asked me to come in again. This time, they explained everything clearly. Until ownership was fully confirmed, no money would be released. No house could be transferred. No accounts could be opened. "She rushed to celebrate," Ruth said. But she skipped steps. For the first time, I smiled. But the smile did not last long. When we returned to where we were staying, something was wrong. The door was open. My heart pounded. Inside, drawers were pulled out. Clothes scattered. Papers everywhere. They had searched everything. But they found nothing important. Because the originals were not there. I sat down, shaking. "She's losing control," Samuel said. "That makes her dangerous." That night, I dreamed again. But this time, my husband did not smile. He looked serious. "Be careful," he said. "The people closest to you can hurt you the most." I woke up sweating. The next day, I decided something. I could not hide anymore. I needed to confront my son. Face to face. Samuel did not like the idea. "She might be watching," he warned. "I don't care," I said. "If I don't look him in the eyes now, I may lose him forever." We arranged to meet him alone. No wife. No lawyers. Just mother and son. When he arrived, he looked thinner. Nervous. "Mama," he said. I studied his face. This was the boy I raised. The boy I carried. The boy who now stood between me and destruction. "I need to ask you one question," I said softly. He nodded. "Did you tell her where I hid the originals?" His hands began to shake. He did not answer. That silence was louder than any confession. Tears filled my eyes. Before I could speak again, his phone rang. He looked at the screen and went pale. "It's her," he whispered. Then he looked up at me and said words I will never forget. "Mama, she's coming here. Right now." And as I turned toward the window, I saw her car pulling in fast. Her car pulled in fast. Too fast. The tires screeched as she stopped. The engine stayed on. Like she planned to leave in a hurry. Or like she expected trouble. My heart began to beat so hard I could hear it in my ears. "She's not supposed to be here," my son whispered. "You told her," I said quietly. He could not look at me. The door slammed. Her footsteps were sharp, angry, heavy. She burst inside without knocking. There she was. Her hair was not neat like before. Her eyes were wild. Her hands shook as she pointed at me. "You think you're clever," she shouted. "You think you can play games with me?" Samuel stepped forward. "This is a private meeting," he said calmly. "You need to leave." She laughed. "With what money?" she snapped. "This is my family." She turned to my son. "Tell her," she said. "Tell her what happens if she doesn't give me the papers." My son swallowed hard. "Mama," he began. I raised my hand. "No," I said. "You've said enough." She stepped closer to me. "So you admit it," she hissed. "You're hiding them." I looked at her directly. "Yes," I said. "And you will never touch them." Her face twisted with rage. "You old witch," she screamed. "Do you know what you've done?" "I protected myself," I replied. She laughed again, but this time it sounded empty. "You don't understand," she said. "That money is already mine. Everyone knows it." "No," Samuel said. "They don't." Her head snapped toward him. "What do you mean?" He spoke slowly. "No money has been released. No ownership confirmed. Everything is frozen." Her face went pale. "You're lying," she whispered. She pulled out her phone and started dialing. No answer. She dialed again. Still nothing. Her hands trembled more. Then she turned on my son. "You promised me," she shouted. "You said she was weak. You said she would give up." He broke down. "I didn't know it would go this far," he cried. "You scared me." That sentence broke my heart. She had scared him. She took a step back, breathing hard. Then her voice changed. Soft. Sweet. "Mama," she said suddenly. "Let's talk like family." I did not move. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "You don't need the stress," she said. "You're old. I can take care of you." I laughed. "You threw me out barefoot," I said. "Now you want to take care of me?" She clenched her jaw. "I was angry," she said. "But we can fix this." "How?" I asked. She leaned in. "Give me the papers," she whispered. "I'll give you a house. A small one. Somewhere quiet." I shook my head. "This house is mine," I said. "And that money is not yours alone." Her eyes darkened. "You will regret this," she said coldly. She reached into her bag. My heart stopped. Samuel moved instantly, stepping between us. "What are you doing?" he demanded. She froze. Then she pulled out, not a weapon, but a thick envelope. She threw it on the table. "Those are documents," she said. "Prepared by my lawyers." Samuel picked them up and glanced through. "These don't change ownership," he said. "They're meaningless without the originals." Her lips trembled. For the first time, she looked truly lost. Then her phone buzzed. She answered. "Yes," she snapped. Her face changed as she listened. "What do you mean, suspended?" she shouted. She pulled the phone away from her ear, staring at it in shock. My heart raced. She slowly lowered the phone. "They froze everything," she whispered. Silence filled the room. She turned to me, eyes burning. "You did this," she said. I nodded. "Yes," I said. "You forced me to." Suddenly, she screamed. She grabbed a chair and threw it across the room. It crashed into the wall. My son jumped. Samuel shielded me. "This is over," Samuel said firmly. If you don't leave now, we call the police. She stood there, breathing hard, her chest rising and falling. Then she laughed. A low, scary laugh. You think this is the end, she said. This is just the beginning. She pointed at my son. And you, she said. You chose her. She stormed out. The door slammed so hard the walls shook. My son collapsed into a chair, crying. I didn't mean for this, he sobbed. I never thought she would turn like this. I looked at him with tired eyes. She didn't turn, I said softly. She revealed herself. He covered his face. I'm scared, he admitted. So am I said. That night, Samuel insisted we all stay together. She won't give up easily, he warned. He was right. Because just before midnight, my phone rang again. Unknown number. I answered slowly. A calm voice spoke. You have something that doesn't belong to you, the voice said. Who is this? I asked. A friend, the voice replied. And if you don't hand it over, accidents can happen. The line went dead. I stared at the phone. My hands shaking. This was no longer just family trouble. This was something darker. And I knew one thing for sure. She was no longer acting alone. I sat there long after the call ended, staring at my phone like it might bite me. Accidents can happen. Those words were not empty. They were heavy. They were meant to scare me into silence. Samuel broke the quiet. This has crossed a line, he said firmly. She's involving other people now. My son looked up, his eyes red and swollen. Who would she call? He asked. Samuel answered before I could. Anyone who thinks money is power. That night, no one slept. Every sound made us jump. Every car passing outside felt too close. I kept my bag next to me, holding it like a shield. At dawn, Samuel made a decision. We are going to document everything, he said. Every message. Every call. Every threat. He wrote things down carefully. Times. Numbers. Words. You need protection now, he told me. Not just papers. Later that morning, something unexpected happened. My son came to me quietly. Mama, he said. I need to tell you something. I looked at him. Speak, I said. He swallowed. She wasn't alone when she sent that message, he admitted. There's a man. Someone she met after the lottery news spread. My stomach dropped. What kind of man? I asked. She says he knows how to make problems disappear, he said softly. Disappear. That word again. I closed my eyes. So she brought strangers into our family mess, I said. He nodded. And she promised him a cut, he added. Samuel clenched his jaw. That explains the confidence, he said. She thinks money will save her. By midday, rumors were everywhere. People whispered that I was greedy. Others said I was lying. Some said I should forgive and move on. None of them knew the truth. Then something else happened. A woman knocked on the door. She looked nervous. Young. Respectful. Are you the mother? She asked. Yes, I replied. I work at the bank, she said quietly. I shouldn't be here, but I couldn't stay silent. Samuel stiffened. What is this about? He asked. She looked around before speaking. She tried to open accounts in different names, the woman said. She's moving fast. Too fast. My heart pounded. She believes the freeze won't last, the woman continued. But the bank flagged everything. She left quickly, afraid of being seen. Samuel exhaled. She's panicking, he said. And panic makes people reckless. That afternoon, my son's phone rang again. He answered. Then his face went pale. She says I betrayed her, he whispered. She says if I don't help her now, she'll destroy me. I felt my chest tighten. She's threatening you too, I said. He nodded slowly. She told me to get the originals, he said. By any means. I stood up. That's enough, I said. This ends now. Samuel looked at me sharply. What do you mean? He asked. I mean, I said slowly, I will stop hiding. They both stared at me. If she wants the truth, I continued, I will bring it into the open. Samuel frowned. That's risky, he warned. So is waiting, I replied. That evening, I made a call I had avoided. To the local office. I reported the threats. I showed the messages. I told my story. They listened carefully. One of them leaned forward. Ma'am, he said, you did the right thing coming now. I felt a small weight lift from my chest. But danger does not disappear just because you speak. As we left the building, my son stopped suddenly. Mama, he whispered. I turned. Across the street, a man stood leaning against a car. Tall. Quiet. Watching us. When our eyes met, he smiled. Not friendly. Not kind. Just confident. Then he raised his phone and took a picture. My heart dropped. That's him, my son whispered. That's the man she mentioned. The man got into the car and drove away slowly, like he had all the time in the world. Samuel grabbed my arm. We need to move, he said. That night, I lay awake again. But this time, fear mixed with something else. Resolve. I thought of everything I had lost. My home. My peace. My trust. I whispered into the dark. I will not disappear. Just before morning, my phone buzzed one last time. A new message. No number. Just words. You have one chance to fix this. Tomorrow night. Or the truth comes out in ways you won't like. I stared at the screen, my heart racing. Because I knew exactly what she meant. And I also knew. If I agreed to meet her tomorrow night, someone was not planning to leave that meeting the same way they arrived. I did not reply to the message. I placed the phone face down on the table and sat very still. Tomorrow night. Those two words carried danger inside them. Samuel watched me closely. She wants control, he said. And she thinks fear will give it to her. My son paced the room, running his hands through his hair again and again. She's serious, he said. When she says, one chance, she means it. I nodded slowly. I know, I said. That's why we won't walk into her trap blindly. That day passed slowly. Too slowly. Every hour felt heavy, like time itself was watching us. Samuel made calls. Quiet ones. Careful ones. He arranged things without explaining everything to me. Just trust me, he said. Trust. That word felt fragile now. In the afternoon, my son finally broke down. He fell to his knees in front of me. I'm sorry, he cried. I failed you. I told her things I shouldn't have. I thought the money would make life easier. I placed my hand on his head. Money only shows who people really are, I said softly. It doesn't change them. It reveals them. He sobbed harder. I don't know how to fix this, he said. You start by standing on the right side, I replied. As night approached, my phone buzzed again. A location. No words. Just an address. Samuel studied it. Public place, he said. But quiet. Too quiet. Perfect for pressure, I replied. We agreed on rules. I would not go alone. I would not hand anything over. And if anything felt wrong, we would leave immediately. When we arrived, the place looked calm. A small restaurant near the edge of town. Soft lights. Few people. She was already there. Sitting straight. Dressed sharply. Calm on the outside. The man stood near the wall. The same one from before. Watching. We sat down. She smiled like nothing had ever happened. I'm glad you came, she said. I came to listen, I replied. Not to give. Her smile faded slightly. You've made this very difficult, she said. For all of us. For yourself, I corrected. She sighed dramatically. Let's end this, she said. Give me the originals. I walk away. You get peace. I shook my head. No, I said. You don't deserve peace at the price of my life. Her eyes hardened. You don't understand the consequences, she said quietly. I understand them very well, I replied. I've been living them. She leaned back and nodded at the man. He stepped forward. My son stiffened. The man spoke calmly. You are holding something valuable, he said. Things like that attract attention. Samuel spoke then. So do threats, he said. And witnesses. The man paused. What witnesses? He asked. Samuel smiled slightly. More than you think. She shifted in her seat. For the last time, she said sharply. What do you want? I leaned forward. My house, I said. Public acknowledgement that you lied. And distance from my life. She laughed loudly. You think you can win, she said. Look around. Look at him. She pointed at my son. He chose me first, she said. My son stood up. No, he said. I didn't. I was afraid. But not anymore. She stared at him like she didn't recognize him. You're making a mistake, she hissed. No, he said. I already made it. Now I'm fixing it. Her face twisted with anger. The man took a step back. This is getting messy, he muttered. Then everything changed. Police sirens. Not loud. Close. Very close. Her eyes widened. What did you do? She whispered. Samuel stood. We documented everything, he said calmly. Messages. Threats. Attempts to coerce. The man cursed under his breath and backed away. She grabbed her bag, standing fast. You set me up, she shouted. No, I said quietly. You did that yourself. The officers entered. Questions were asked. Names were taken. The man slipped out a side door. She was furious. As they spoke to her, she looked at me one last time. This time, there was no anger. Only panic. As she was led aside, my phone buzzed again. A notification. From the lottery office. Status update available. My heart raced. Because whatever that update said, would decide everything that came next. My hands shook as I opened the notification. For a moment, I could not breathe. The words on the screen felt heavy, like they carried the weight of my whole life. Status update available. Samuel leaned closer. My son held his breath. I tapped the screen. The message opened slowly, as if it wanted to test my heart. Ownership review in progress. Claim temporarily suspended pending verification of secondary contributor and original documentation. I read it twice. Then a third time. Suspended. Pending verification. Secondary contributor. That was me. Samuel let out a long breath. This is good, he said quietly. Very good. Across the room, she was still arguing with the officers. You can't do this, she shouted. I won. Everyone knows I won. One of the officers remained calm. Ma'am, he said, we are not discussing the lottery right now. We are discussing threats and harassment. Her face twisted with rage. She looked at me again. You did this, she screamed. You ruined everything. I stood up slowly. No, I said. I survived what you tried to do to me. She tried to move toward me, but the officer stopped her. My son stepped forward. Enough, he said. You've hurt everyone. She laughed bitterly. You think choosing her will save you, she snapped. When this is over, you'll have nothing. He did not back away. I already lost something, he said. My mother. And that was the worst loss of all. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. For the first time, she had nothing to say. Later that night, we returned to where we were staying. The silence felt strange. No shouting. No threats. Just quiet. I sat on the bed, holding my phone, reading the message again and again. Suspended. The money was no longer moving. The power she thought she had was slipping. But danger does not disappear overnight. Samuel sat across from me. "This is a turning point," he said. "But it's not the end." "I know," I replied. He nodded. "She's not done fighting. And when people lose control, they often make their worst decisions." My son sat on the floor, his back against the wall. "I don't recognize my life anymore," he said softly. I looked at him. "Neither do I said. "But we are still here." The next morning, news spread. Quietly. Not online. Through whispers. People talked about police visits. About frozen money. About problems behind the celebration. The smiles disappeared from her pictures. The music stopped. That afternoon, I received a formal call. From the lottery office. "Ma'am," the woman said respectfully, "we need you to come in with the original documents." My heart jumped. "When?" I asked. "Soon," she replied. "Very soon." After the call ended, I sat in silence. The originals. The papers that started all of this. They were still hidden. Still safe. But now, bringing them out would change everything. That evening, my son came to me again. "Mama," he said, "if this goes public, it will destroy my marriage." I looked at him carefully. "Your marriage was destroyed the moment she threw me out," I said gently. He nodded slowly. "I know," he whispered. That night, I dreamed again. This time, my husband stood in the doorway of the house. The door was open. Light poured in. "You're almost there," he said. I woke up with tears on my face. In the morning, something unexpected happened. A letter was slipped under the door. No stamp. No return address. Inside, only one sentence. "You think the freeze protects you. It doesn't." My heart sank. Samuel read it and frowned. "She's trying to scare you again," he said. "But she's weaker now." "Desperate people are dangerous," I replied. He agreed. Later that day, my son received a call. He answered, listened, then slowly lowered the phone. "What is it?" I asked. "She's gone," he said. "Gone where?" Samuel asked. "She packed some things and left the house," he replied. "No one knows where she went." A cold feeling spread through me. She had disappeared. Not me. And that scared me more than her anger ever did. Because now, she had nothing to lose. That night, as I held the originals in my hands for the first time in years, I realized something. The final fight was coming. Not in court. Not online. But face to face. And when Chapter 11 begins, everything will finally come into the open. I sat alone that night, holding the originals in my hands. The papers felt heavier than paper should feel. They carried years of work. Years of love. Years of pain. This was the house my husband and I built. This was the proof of my life. Outside, the world was quiet. Too quiet. When someone has nothing left to lose, silence becomes dangerous. Just before midnight, my phone rang. Unknown number. I did not hesitate this time. "I'm listening," I said. Her voice came through, calm but empty. "So," she said, "you're ready now." "I've always been ready," I replied. "You're the one who ran." She laughed softly. "Meet me," she said. "One last time. Bring everything." "Where?" I asked. She gave me the address. My heart slowed. It was the house. My house. Samuel insisted on coming. My son insisted too. We arrived just before dawn. The front door was open. Lights were on. Inside, everything looked wrong. Furniture moved. Drawers opened. Walls bare where pictures once hung. She stood in the living room, surrounded by suitcases. "You came," she said. "I came to end this," I replied. She looked tired now. Smaller. "No police?" she asked. "No," I said. "Truth doesn't need hiding anymore." She nodded. "I thought the money would save me," she admitted. "I thought it would make people respect me." "And?" I asked. "It showed me who I really am," she said quietly. I stepped forward. "You crossed a line," I said. "You threw me out. You threatened me. You tried to erase me." She lowered her head. "I was wrong," she whispered. I opened the envelope and placed the originals on the table. "These go to the lottery office today," I said. "Everything will be decided properly." She looked at them like they were fire. "And the house?" she asked. I looked around. "This house was never yours," I said. "But I will not lock you out like you locked me out." She looked up, surprised. "You will leave peacefully," I continued. "And you will never contact me again." Tears filled her eyes. My son stepped forward. "This ends now," he said. "We all pay for what we do." She picked up her suitcase. "I lost everything," she said. "No," I replied. "You lost control. That's different." She walked to the door. Then stopped. "I'm sorry," she said. I believed her. "But forgiveness does not mean forgetting." She left. When the door closed, I felt something release inside my chest. Later that morning, we went to the lottery office. I handed over the originals. The truth came out. Every detail. Every contribution. Every lie. The decision was clear. The money was divided according to the law. Not stolen. Not forced. Not controlled by threats. And the house. The house came back to me. When I unlocked the door that evening and stepped inside, I cried. Not because I was weak, but because I survived. I cleaned slowly. I rehung the pictures. I sat in my chair again. My son stood beside me. "I failed you," he said. "You learned," I replied. "That matters." Life did not become perfect after that. But it became honest. And that was enough. If you're listening to this story right now, let me say this. Never let anyone erase you. Never let money silence your truth. And never believe it's too late to stand up for yourself. If this story touched you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss more powerful real-life stories like this. And tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? Your voice matters, just like mine did.